Hey everyone, welcome to today's explainer. Let's just jump right in. I want you to think for a second about, well, the biggest milestones in a person's life, right? Buying your first home, protecting a piece of family property you absolutely love, or figuring out how your loved ones are going to be taken care of when you're gone. These are huge. They're deeply human, emotional experiences. But, and here's the catch, they are also deeply legal ones. So today, we're diving into the incredibly empathetic practice of Jennifer Towne. She's an Oregon licensed attorney over at Telio Law, and honestly, her approach completely redefines what it means to get legal help during these massive, high-stakes moments. We're going to look at exactly how she bridges that gap between complex legal code and the everyday realities of her clients. I love this quote from her because it really just hits the nail on the head regarding the emotional stakes here. Legal problems are rarely just legal problems. They're also family problems, financial problems, and sometimes emotional ones. I mean, how true is that? When you're in the middle of a property dispute or, heaven forbid, dealing with the passing of a family member, you aren't just pushing paper around. You're dealing with messy family dynamics, totally unexpected financial burdens, and just intense stress. Towne's whole philosophy is that the law doesn't exist in some sterile vacuum. It sits right there at the crossroads of cold, hard logic and messy, beautiful real life. And recognizing that human element, that's literally the foundation of her entire practice. Section 1. Law meets real life, the intersection of logic and people. So Jennifer actually earned her Doctor of Law from the University of Michigan, and she very deliberately chose to build this relationship-based practice at Telio Law. Her work as an Oregon licensed attorney revolves around three connected areas: real estate transactions and disputes, estate planning, and estate administration. Being at Telio Law is actually a huge advantage for her because it empowers her to be super hands-on. She's not just going to pass you off to a paralegal the second a contract is signed. She is heavily involved in the whole shebang, from the most straightforward closings to the really tense disputes. Section 2. Navigating real estate law. Proactive protection. Okay, let's talk real estate. Towne's practice here is all about preventing predictable failures before they even happen. A lot of people just kind of assume that if a contract looks straightforward and brief, it's gotta be risk-free, right? Well, actually, scratch that. Towne completely debunks this idea. Hidden risks are everywhere. We're talking vague language, overlooked title histories, blurry boundary lines, stuff that can create absolute nightmares years down the road. Her method is to essentially dissect every single deed or contract, flagging those potential pitfalls. That way, her clients never feel like they're just blindly signing a mountain of documents without knowing exactly what they're agreeing to. And this proactive mindset is absolutely vital in construction law, which is just notoriously tricky. Construction projects almost always derail for the exact same predictable reasons: vague scope language, timelines that just disappear, or major payment delays. Towne gets ahead of this by anticipating these exact failure points right in the drafting phase, literally before a single shovel hits the dirt. She doesn't want to leave any loopholes that could trigger a dispute later. But hey, if things have already gone south, say someone's arguing over unpaid debt, she pivots. She shifts her focus entirely to efficient, structured resolutions to protect her client's interests without dragging it out in court and bleeding their bank account dry. It's really about saving time, saving money, and honestly, saving your sanity. Section 3. Demystifying estate planning, bringing order to chaos. Now we're getting into the emotionally heavy stuff. Estate work is where she helps families find some sense of order in what often feels like total chaos during their darkest moments. So, how do you even make estate planning approachable for a client who is totally overwhelmed? Well, she has a very specific three-step method. Step 1, she just listens. No intimidating legalese, no jargon. People usually know what a will is, they just have no clue where to start. Step 2, she breaks this massive, terrifying process into bite-sized, manageable pieces. And step 3, which is absolutely crucial, by the way, she explains the why, not just the what. Because when you actually understand why a lawyer is recommending something, you're way more likely to follow through and actually get your affairs in order. But what if the worst happens and someone passes away without a plan? That brings us to estate administration. This is the whole process that covers everything from filing for probate to figuring out what on earth to do with jointly owned property after an owner dies. And man, families get so stuck here. You might have heirs arguing, the title history on the family home might be a complete mess, or there are outstanding debts hanging around. Towne steps in here as an expert guide. Her job is to provide this rigid, reliable structure so nothing falls through the cracks while the family is just trying to grieve. She literally takes that massive logistical weight right off their shoulders. Section 4. The client-first approach, accessibility and honesty.
So Towne's legal knowledge is obviously vast, but her client-first approach is what really sets her apart. It's built on two things: genuine accessibility and brutal honesty. She is super adaptable. She'll review plans with you over a quick video call or sit down for a tough in-person conversation, whatever makes the client most comfortable. And when it comes to giving advice, look, a lot of lawyers might give you a comfortable answer that's wrapped in so much jargon you don't even know what they said. Towne refuses to do that. She would much rather give you a difficult answer that you 100% understand. She translates the complex stuff into plain English, and that is how you build lifelong trust. But to give you those clear answers, she has to be razor sharp on the law itself. And here's a fun fact you might not know. Oregon's probate and property laws shift all the time. It is not a set it and forget it kind of field. For Towne, staying current isn't just some yearly chore. It is a daily, essential part of her routine. She is constantly tracking legislation, keeping an eye on foreclosure procedure updates, and adapting to changes in how jointly owned property is handled. Why? Because those constantly shifting laws directly impact the real-world advice she's giving her clients every single day. Section 5. Proactive planning, securing the future today. Okay, we need to shatter a huge misconception right now. A lot of people think that estate planning or keeping a lawyer on retainer is just for the ultra-wealthy or the elderly. No way. That is totally false. If you own property or if you have dependents, you need a plan, period. Which brings us to a huge question. When should you actually start planning? I mean, think about your own life for a second. Are you waiting for some magical milestone? Are you waiting until you feel established enough?
Well, Jennifer Towne's answer to that is crystal clear, and honestly, it's the biggest takeaway from this entire explainer. Don't wait for the situation to become urgent. Start with a conversation. Whether you need a will drafted or just need a lawyer to double-check a real estate contract, handling things proactively is always easier and exponentially cheaper than waiting for a tragedy or a nasty dispute to force your hand. Having a plan or having a dedicated advocate like Towne already in your corner completely changes how these stressful situations unfold for your family. And all it takes to get started is just a simple conversation. As we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with this final thought. Proactive planning isn't just checking off a legal chore. It's actually a profound gift. It's a gift of certainty that you leave for the people you love. It guarantees that when those huge life milestones hit or when the unexpected tragedies strike, your family isn't left trying to navigate the chaos completely alone. So ask yourself, are you going to wait for an emergency to strike, or will you take a step to secure your peace of mind today? It's your future, and the power to protect it is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for hanging out and exploring this topic with me today.